I think, and this is only personal experience, not just a Philips thing. I think it's, speaking to colleagues as well, where it can go wrong, in my experience, is everything becomes sort of like test and learn can become a default for decision making. Hey, we don't need to make a decision. We can test and learn.
Yeah.
Okay, so and actually the end-to-end implications of that culture of sort of living in a perpetual beta, or call it what you want, on the whole marketing mix is, it can be very labor intensive. It can be the abject of, wasteful actually versus whatever else. So there's a very, I find it actually fascinating, which is where you sort of, well, two things, I think, where you on a strategic level, you make things sacrosanct, and you are very clear on things that are locked within reason, and where iteration and test and learn philosophy is good. And if those two things are not clear, and for a squad or a company, I think you can run into challenge. And I think to your other point, yeah, the knock-on consequence for the KPIs of that, Nick, are the fact that what I've discovered is actually that the KPI pressures, and I don't think Philips would be unique, I know we're not, in terms of different parts of the organization are quite unique. So the pressure on a marketeer in a market versus a region versus global versus the head of brand are not the same. But you need to have, in a squad or a way of working, aligned definition of success and end-to-end KPI. So there is inherent tension there. And the benefit of it, if you get it right, I think to Chloe's point, is actually you do get, the performance-led interested people on hitting the quarterly or the weekly number are forced to think about the brand or longer term KPIs in the same way that maybe a slower moving or more lagging KPI function who maybe isn't as performance-led or dynamic as they could be are also forced to realize the realities of the end-to-end process. And so I think for me, it's about architecture. You know what I mean? I think the great benefit of this is the alignment. We talked about it at the start of the end-to-end. And I can only think when you get it right, what you end up with is a common definition of success that actually pre-squad or agile way of working may not have been there. You know what I mean? Everyone is kind of working, the sound biters were working on the same stuff. In reality, people face such different pressures that the KPIs take on different meanings to different functions. So I think it's great if you can get it right to have that end-to-end KPI alignment.